All right. Now, okay, now I'll ask you a question. What do you call a person you've never met before? What do you call a person you've never met before? A stranger, says Nilakshi, Smriti, Rahul, Vamsi, Varun, Ketan. Chitra says Mr. X. Okay, all right. Okay, most of you say it's stranger. Correct? You guys are right. Okay, when you come across a person you've never met before, you call that person a stranger. Okay, so now let's take the next scenario. What do you call a person you've met a couple of times recently but hardly know anything about? What do you call a person you've met a couple of times recently but hardly know anything about? Acquaintance says Smriti. Pankuri says acquaintance. Unknown says Bimal Kumar. Just friend says Dinesh. Is it Dinesh? Do we call that person a friend? Acquaintance. Okay, most of you say it's acquaintance, and you guys are right, absolutely right. So we call that person an acquaintance. Right. Okay, so one more question. What do you call a person very close to you and knows you in and out? What do you call a person very close to you and knows you in and out? Depends on gender, says Prashant. That's a good observation. Friend, close friend, best friend, good friend. Ketan says relative. Right. Okay. So when a person knows you in and out, okay, a person who is very close to you and knows you in and out, we call that person our friend. Okay. So there are three stages of knowing a person. Okay, that is stranger, acquaintance, and friend. Okay. Similarly, yes, Shika, I am getting your response. Okay, I can see your responses. Okay. So the point I'm getting at is that there are three stages of knowing a person. Similarly, when you are learning words, there are three stages. Okay, the word has to go through three stages in your mind. Okay, first, when you come across a person, when you come across a word that you've never heard or never listened to before, okay, that word is a stranger. Okay, then you do a small research on it. You check the dictionary, you find out the meaning, okay, and you see how it is used. Then it becomes an acquaintance. Okay, and then you start using it in your daily conversations, and it becomes a friend. Okay, right? Okay, so there are three stages of learning words as well, just like there are three stages of knowing a person. Correct? Okay, so if I give you any word, would you be able to classify that word in any of these three stages? If I give you a word, would you be able to classify that word in any of these three stages? Okay, just let's try. Okay, I'll give you a word, bamboozle. What is that word to you? Alauddin says stranger. Bamboozle is a stranger, says Abhijit. Tejasvi says stranger. Tushar says it's an acquaintance. Safia says I am puzzled. Okay, Safia has introduced a new stage. Okay, all right. Okay, so for most of you, it's a stranger. It's a stranger stage. Okay, but for a person who has been using this word frequently, using this word in his or her daily conversations, this might be a friendly word. Okay, he might use it a lot. Yes, guys, I'm getting all of your responses. Vinita, Vivek, I'm getting all of your responses. Okay, you can just type in your doubts or type in your queries in the chat box, just like you're doing it right now. Okay, all right. Okay, so there are three stages of learning a word, just like I said. Strangers, first is the stranger stage, knowing a word. Okay, in the stranger stage, what we have to do is know that particular word, get to know that particular word. Okay, the second stage is acquaintance stage, in which we try to understand the word. Okay, once we get to know the word, The second stage is to understand the word. Okay, third stage is the friend stage, where we have to apply that word in our daily usage, okay, so that it becomes our friend. Okay, so is that clear, guys? The three stages of a word are clear? Yes, all of you? Great, good going. Clear as sky, says Vivek. Okay, okay. So now what we'll do is we'll take a word, okay, and we'll go through we'll take that word through all the three stages, okay, and I'll with the help of an example, with the help of a word, taking it as an example, I'll show you how you proceed from stage 1 to stage 3. Okay, is that fine, guys? We'll take an example. We'll take a word. Yes. Okay. Okay. So stage 1, knowing a word, okay, we'll take a word called expropriate. How many of you have already come across the word expropriate? Smriti has, Srinivas has, okay, Deep has, okay, Bimal says not yet, Vamsi hasn't, okay. Okay, the word is expropriate. How many of you have come across the word expropriate, guys? Okay, guys, am I audible now? Am I much clearer now? Some of you have a audio problem. Now am I clear? Yes. Okay. All right. Okay, so the word is expropriate. Okay, some of you have come across the word, some of you haven't. Okay, so okay, just for the sake of learning, we'll let's assume that we have never heard the word before. Okay, can we do that? Let's assume that we haven't come across the word at all. We don't know the word at all. We haven't come across the meaning, right? Okay. Okay, so the stage 1 is knowing a word. How do we proceed? Okay, it's a complete stranger. This word is a complete stranger. Okay, the word expropriate is a complete stranger. Okay, so when you come across a word that is a complete stranger, how do you proceed? Okay, the first step is to get its meaning. Okay, yes, Shika, I'll come to your question. Okay, I'll answer your question. Okay, right. Okay, so the word expropriate. Okay, the first step is to know its meaning. Okay, to officially take away private property from its owner for public use. Okay, so have you ever seen the government taking away land, okay, for public use, taking away private land, okay, building metros? Have you guys seen that, for building metros, or uh, building flyovers, building bridges, building toll roads? Yes. Okay, so that is called expropriation. When government takes away private property for public use, we call it expropriation. Okay, so the first thing you have to do when you come across a strange word, you have to learn its meaning. You have to know its meaning. Okay, the second step is to identify the parts of speech. Okay, so here the word expropriate is a verb. Okay, why is it a verb, guys? And can anyone tell me why is this word a verb? Let's see who is the first person to answer. Darshan says it's an action. That's correct. That's absolutely right. Okay, so since Darshan was the first person to answer, can we have a huge round of applause for Darshan, please? Okay. Yes, that's good. That's good. Right. Okay, so that was very quick. So the word expropriate is a verb because it signifies an action. Okay, so as Darshan said, it's an action. Kamil also said it's an action. Most of you know. Okay, so the parts of speech is a verb. Okay, right. So first you identified the meaning, then you identified the parts of speech, then come to the usage. Check how is it used in a sentence. Okay, check a few examples. Okay, the land was expropriated by the state. Okay, legislation was introduced to expropriate land from absentee landlords and redistribute it to peasants. The Bolsheviks expropriated the property of the landowners. Okay, so that is how it is used in a sentence. Okay, so it's a verb. It signifies an action. Okay, so whenever you are using it in a sentence, you have to keep in mind that it's an action. The word expropriate is an action. Okay, and it means to officially take away private property from its owner for public use. Okay, so guys, so any doubts till now? Okay, Kamil is asking, what does Bolsheviks mean? Bolsheviks are Russian capitalists. Okay, they used to have a community of capitalists long back. Okay, they are called Bolsheviks. Okay, Himanshu is all clear. Okay, Tejasvi says she's not clear. Okay, guys, if you are not clear, you can ask me your question. How to approach the first stage when you come across a new word? How to approach it? What is the first step you have to do? Okay, when you come across a new word, say here the word is expropriate. Okay, when you come across a new word, first identify its meaning, then identify its parts of speech, then check how it is used in a sentence. Okay, those are the first three steps you have to take in knowing a word. Okay, once you do this, once you are able to perfectly do this, meaning, parts of speech, usage, okay, once you know this, you get to know a word. Okay, you just, this is not this is not a lot of information about the word. This is just three aspects of that word: meaning, parts of speech, and usage. Okay, so you are now just getting to know the word. Okay, now you guys can compare this with a real life situation, just like I told you. Okay, when you first meet a person, okay, you ask his name, you ask his occupation, okay, and you ask his native place. Okay, it's just like that. Okay, you only come to know about a few things about that particular word. Okay, there are still a lot of things to yet to do. Okay, so this is the first stage. Okay, this is the first stage: meaning, parts of speech, and usage. Okay, now how to proceed further? So can anyone tell me what is the next stage? What was the next stage we discussed? The stranger stage is over. First stage. Understanding the word, correct. Shikha, you're right. Okay, so coming to the next stage, understand the word properly. Okay, because by expropriating we acquire personal property officially from its owners for a common purpose. Okay, so that is the definition of that word. Okay, by expropriating we acquire personal property officially from its owners for a common purpose. Okay, for example, the act of acquiring the land for laying a road or building a dam is expropriation. Okay, has it happened to you guys? Have any of you guys seen the government expropriating land nearby your area? Have any one of you experienced that? Yes, I'm sure almost all of you have experienced that. Okay, so if you have that, if you have that experience, or if you have seen something like that, visualize it. Okay, visualize it and try to connect it. Okay, that the flyover that is built that was built nearby my house. Okay, they expropriated the land from those people. Okay, so in such a similar way, try to visualize it and relate to it. Okay, relate to the particular word. Okay, okay, is it clear guys? Understood the word expropriate? Yes. Okay, all right. Okay, so what is next? Okay, now there is something called thematic classification. I'll ask you a question. How many of you have seen the construction of a bridge? How many of you have seen the construction of a bridge? Anubhav, Aliuddin, Dimant, Shikha, Safiya, Vinita. Okay, almost all of you. Right. Okay, so how is a bridge built? Is it built block by block, or is it built all at once? Is it built pillar by pillar, or is it built all at once? Correct, block by block. Why is it so? Why do we build a bridge block by block and not all at once? Alia says it's a huge mass. Meena says you cannot build it all at once. Correct. It's quite huge. Pari says. Parag says starting should be correct. Right. Okay, so it's almost impossible to build the whole bridge at once. Okay, even if you try, there will be some or the other anomaly that will take the bridge down sometime, right? Okay, so it's it's quite impossible, it's quite impossible to build a bridge all at once. Or even if you build, there tends to be some or the other anomaly. Okay, so the best method to build a bridge is to build it block by block and then assemble it together where it is required. Okay, similarly there is something called thematic classification of words. Okay, what uh, thematic classification of words is that? Okay, the words that you have for your learning, you have to group them you have to categorize them in a common group. Okay, in a group with homogeneous characteristics. Okay, the words that sound similar or the words that have similar characteristics should be placed in a similar group. Okay, now I'll give you an example. Okay, uh, guys, can you tell me who is your idol, who is the person that inspires you the most? Okay, Aliuddin says Dr. Abdul Kalam, Shah Rukh Khan, Sachin Tendulkar, Swami Vivekanand, Narendra Modi, Michael Schumacher, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, Warren Buffett, Mr. Bean. Okay, that's an unexpected answer. All right, Mother Teresa, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, Steve Jobs. Okay, so we've got many names here. Yeah, it's just for the sake of example, we'll take a person who every one of us knows very well. We'll take Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as an example. So if I ask you guys to describe describe Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in one word using any GRE word, what would you say? Visionary, missile man, charismatic, marvelous, president, perfect, genius, scientist, brilliant, fantabulous, visionary again, rock star. Is it would you call Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam a rock star? Altruist, diligent, extraordinary, great thinker, legend. Okay, so when I asked you to describe Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam in one word, there was so many adjectives you guys came up with. I could say more than 40 or 50 adjectives that you guys have come up with. Okay, apart from all the other descriptions that you've made. Okay, I can see more than 40-50 adjectives. Okay, so when I talk of these words, okay, would you be able to relate these words to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? Yes, right. Okay, so I'll give you another similar example. If I told you that group these three words in one similar category, I'll give you the three words: hunger, gobble, and gluttony. Okay, hunger, gobble, and gluttony. If you had to group these three words in a common group, what would you call that group? Shika says food, Alia says poor, Girish says superlatives. Okay, Steffi is asking me to repeat, Shika is asking me to repeat. Okay, hunger, gobble, and gluttony. Hunger, gobble, Gobble, Gluttony. One who is fond of food, says Satya. Correct. Okay, so if these three words are put in a category called food, would you be able to relate these words with food? Yes, right. Okay, so that is called thematic classification of words. What it does is it creates a network of the words. Okay, and and it'll inscribe a subconscious thought in your mind that these words are related with a common characteristic. Okay, these words are related with a common characteristic. So when we talk about gobble, you'll remember that gluttony and hunger are also similar words in the category. Okay, now why is this important is because there are more than 3,500 words that one needs to learn. Okay, in most books and in most in most learning materials, I've seen that words are given in an alphabetical order. Okay, and I've also seen students starting with the word A. They keep reading, they keep reading. By the time they finish all the words that start with A, they are tired. They say, sir, I can't read anymore, I'm tired of it, I'm bored. Yeah, I can't go further, and it's very tedious. It's very tedious. Okay, imagine learning 3,500 words in alphabetical order. Okay, it doesn't even make sense, and and you'll leave most of the words that are very important. Okay, so it's very important to group these words in particular categories. Okay, and so what that will help you do is that will help you form a network in your mind and remember these words easily. Okay, so if every group has 5 words in it, okay, you'll remember each group separately. Instead of remembering each word separately, then you have to remember 3,500 words. Instead of that, if you have 10 words in each group and you remember those groups separately, you'll only have to remember 350 groups. Okay, so that makes it much easier. Okay, so this might sound a little bit tricky right now. Okay, but once you start learning from a thematic word list, theme based word list, you'll find it much easier. Okay, so having said that, GREedge has a has a thematic word list, theme based word list. I'll send you the link. Okay, I'll send you the link, and you can bookmark the link and refer it later after the seminar is over. Okay, for now we'll proceed. Any doubt till now, guys? Any doubt till now? No. All right. Yeah, Tushar, I'll send you the link. I'll send every one of you the link. Okay. Okay, if by chance I forget, do remind me. I'll send you the link as soon as this seminar is over. Okay. Okay, so what is the third stage, guys? We came across 2 stages: friend stage, acquaintance stage. What is the third stage? I'm sorry, stranger stage and acquaintance stage. Application, that is the friend stage, correct? Okay, so the third stage is the application stage. Okay, now you might ask me, sir, what is the need to gather information, gather so much information about one single word? Okay, can't we just stop at the first stage? Can't we just stop at the second stage? Why are there 3 stages? Can't we just read the meaning and proceed to the next word? How many of you have this doubt? Sir, why can't we just read the meaning and go to the next doubt and next meaning? How many of you have that doubt? Vivek has, Mansa has. Okay. Tushar says, I have tried it. Right. Okay, so I'll tell you why. Okay, so while you are reading, how many times has it happened to you that all if you come across a word and you read the meaning, you take the dictionary, read the meaning, okay, then you understand it, then few days later you forget it again. How many times has it happened to you? Alia says many times, Deeman says many times, Steffi says all the time. Okay, right, it happens with most of us, almost all of us, I'm sure. Okay, so that is that is how a human brain works. It cannot store the memory for a long time unless and until we we come across that particular word again and again. Okay, so many times it happens that we come across a word, we don't know the meaning, so we refer the dictionary, then we understand it, but few days later again it's the same, we forget the word again, right? Okay, so to avoid that, we have to go through all these stages. Okay, so this is the right proven way to to learn a word. Okay, if you listen to the three stages that I'm telling you right now, if you go through all the three stages for each word, okay, I'm going to I'm going to you know I'm going to I'm going to be to tell you for sure that won't forget a word later. Okay, so the third stage is the application stage. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to use the words in speaking and or in writing. Okay, so guys, if I ask you to recite the English alphabet A to Z, would you be able to do that? If I ask you to recite the English alphabet completely from A to Z, yes? Okay, I'm sure if I ask you to recite it in a reverse order, I'm sure you can do that as well, because it's quite simple, right? Okay, so now why is it that something that you learned some 20 years ago you can still remember? Why is it that? Okay, well, Kamil has already typed in A to Z here. Okay, all right. Why is it that something that we've read 20 years ago we still remember? Revision, says Shikha. Daily usage, says Zayed. Because of revision. Okay, everyday usage, says Raksha. Because it's always in practice, Soumya says. We are speaking and writing since last 20 years, says Kedar. Correct. Okay, says only because of practice. We've been reciting it so many times. We've been using it so many times. Okay, I'm sure if you go back to your go into the flashback and remember, you'll notice, you'll remember that how many times has your teacher asked you to stand in front of the class and recite A to Z, right? Yeah, the fun times, right? So many times you would have done that. Okay, so that is the reason why we remember that the English alphabet so exactly. A similar should be the case with all the GRE words. Okay, use it in your daily use it in your daily conversation, use it in writing, use it in your emails, use it in Facebook statuses, use it in letters written to your HOD or to your manager or to your team leader or to your project guide or to your classmates. Okay, the more you use, okay, initially, okay, you might be wrong, initially you might have used it wrong. That's fine, that's okay, you have nothing to lose. Okay, when you lose this is when there is a harm is when you make a mistake in the GRE exam. Okay, so the more you use it, the more perfect you will become. Okay, so we'll see some statement, and we'll see how this word has been used. Okay, the recent revision of government land value for property is a bliss for the people who are affected by expropriation of lands for widening the national highways. Now they will get a lump sum amount as a compensation. Okay, so that is how a word has been used here. Okay, so now I'll ask you all to form a sentence using the word expropriate very quickly. I'll give you 10 seconds. Guys. Form a sentence using the word expropriate, your own sentence. The land was expropriated by the government, says Anubhav. Okay, the government has expropriated the slum area, says Soumya. Correct. Government expropriated the land near my home for building an underpass, says Darshan. Correct. The land near my home was expropriated for expansion of the airport, says Sri Harish. That's right. Government expropriated the land for bridge construction. Correct, Steffi? Forests are expropriated for constructing dams, says Zayed. Right? Farmers are losing their means of income because of expropriation of land by the government for building dams. Rutuja, that's an excellent statement. That's the best I've seen till now. Right. That's correct, guys. So you guys now know how to use the word expropriate. Now you are aware of the word expropriate. All familiar with the word expropriate? Right. Okay. So what are the three stages that we went through to learn this word expropriate? I'll just refresh it quickly. Stranger, then stranger, acquaintance, and friend. Correct, Tushar? Stranger, acquaintance, friend. Okay. So again, in stranger stage there are again 3 steps. Okay, in acquaintance stage there are again 2 steps. Okay, and then in application stage, okay, there's only 1 step. Okay, so you have to remember those. Okay, at first you might feel that this process is quite tedious. You might feel that I am spending so much time on one word. Okay, you might even get impatient that and want to move on to the next word. Okay, but trust me, guys, trust me, this is the right method to learn a particular word. Okay, I've seen so many students initially saying that this is very difficult method, but at the end, while they practice a little and go on further, they find it very easy, and in fact they fall in love with learning new words. Okay, I've seen students who have who had faced a lot of difficulty found this method very interesting. Okay, so guys, now you know how to approach a word, any given word. Now you guys know how to approach any given word. Right. Okay, so shall we move forward? Okay. Okay, now guys, now let me ask you a question. It's a very important question. Okay, uh, when preparing for the GRE, okay, how many times has it happened to you that all the options sound very similar, especially in sentence equivalence and text completion? All the options sound similar and you don't know which is the right option. How many times has it happened to you? Many times, always, all the time. Sad smiley, says Darshan. Okay, all the time. I couldn't make the difference most of the time. Okay, Mansa also is making the sad smiley. All right. Okay, so how to overcome that? How to overcome that problem? Okay, I was expecting you guys to ask this question to me, but since nobody asked, I myself have put the question in front of you. Okay, so what I've done here is, since we've learned the word expropriate, yeah, I've taken 4 more words that sound similar to the word expropriate. Okay, and we'll see each of the word how it is different from the word expropriate. Okay. All right. Okay, so uh, we've learned the word expropriate. Okay, there are 4 more words: misappropriate, appropriate, deprive, and divest. Okay, which sound similar to the word expropriate. Okay, so we'll go one by one and see what is the difference between these words. Okay, words related to expropriate. Okay, so now guys, whenever you come across words which sound very similar, okay, what you have to do is you have to first take the word that you know the best. Okay, to take the word that you are very familiar with. Okay, and you have to you have to form a small network of the other similar words. Okay, and form a network that circulates around the main word that you know very well. Okay, so here I'll go back to the previous slide. Okay, so here we know the word expropriate very well. Okay, now consider that the other four words are something that we haven't come across: misappropriate, appropriate, deprive, and divest. Okay, so you have to first compare. You have to compare these words with the word that you know the most. Okay, so since we know the word expropriate, we'll first see it properly. Okay, it means to take it means to officially take away private property from its owner for public use. Okay, so appropriate is clear to you guys? Appropriate is clear to you guys? Yes. Okay. Okay, now how is it different from appropriate? Okay, now guys, without looking at the screen, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the word appropriate? Most suitable says Pari, Anubhav says suitable, something correct says Mansa, most suitable says Kanika, the suitable, okay, everyone says it's suitable. Okay. Okay, so when I asked you what is the meaning of the word appropriate, the first question you should have asked me is what is the parts of speech of the word. Okay, the first question you should have asked me back is that what is the parts of speech of the word. Is it a verb or is it an adjective? Okay, now now uh, now some of you have I think one of you have asked in the beginning that why is parts of speech necessary, why is parts of speech important. Now I am going to tell you why is parts of speech important. Okay, so the word appropriate exists in two forms. One is an adjective form, one is a verb form. Okay, verb form is when it's depicting an action. Okay, adjective is when it is telling the quality of a noun. Okay, the meaning that you guys told, that what we've been using it so far till now in our lives. Okay, we think appropriate, the meaning of the word appropriate is suitable, something suitable, something correct, right? So that is when we use it as an adjective. Okay, that is an adjective. The word appropriate, when it is used in adjective, it gives us the meaning that it is something suitable. Okay, but there is another meaning to it. Okay, when we use it as a verb, there is a total different meaning to the word appropriate. Okay, when we use it as a verb, appropriate means to take something, somebody's ideas, etc. for your own use, especially illegally or without permission. Okay, so here it is an action. Okay, so here it is an action, so that's why it is a verb. Okay, like Tushar rightly said, not many know that it is a verb as well. Correct? Okay, so how many of you knew this? How many of you knew that appropriate existed as a verb as well? Safia did not. Aditya did. Darshan did. Okay, Shika didn't. Kamil didn't. Chitra didn't. Okay, right? So now you know that the word appropriate exists in two forms. One is an adjective, one is a verb. Okay, so if you ask me why is parts of speech important, okay, so that is the reason. So a word can exist in two or more various forms. Okay, so it's very important to understand the parts of speech. Okay. Okay, so one more thing, one more reason why parts of speech is important. Can anyone tell me what is another reason why parts of speech is important? Why should we learn the parts of speech of a word? There is one more reason. Parag says how to use that how to use that word. Framing a sentence, says Girish. Using at a point of time, says Aditya, correct. right? So if you don't know the parts of speech of a word, it's very difficult to use it in a sentence. Okay, the usage in a statement may differ with respect to the parts of speech of that word. Okay, so we cannot use the word part, we cannot use the word appropriate as an adjective in a sentence that requires a verb. Okay, and similarly the vice versa. So it's very important to know the parts of speech as well. Okay, so here appropriate means to take somebody's ideas, etc., for your own use, especially illegally or without permission. Okay, when you snatch away somebody's ideas, when scientists take away somebody else's ideas and win the Nobel Prize, that is called appropriate. Okay, now coming to the word misappropriate, how is it different? Misappropriate, it's word, this word is relatively simple. Okay, so appropriate, we already know what is appropriate. Now wherever there is a prefix called mis, okay, there is a trust element involved. Okay, when we put mis in front of the word behavior, it's called misbehavior. That is, we have not behaved properly. Okay, uh, when we put the word mis in front of the word trust, it becomes mistrust. That means we have violated the trust. Okay, so there is a trust element involved. Okay, yes, Utkarsh, please ask your questions. Yeah, I am getting your queries. Please ask your questions. Go ahead. Okay, so that is what misappropriate is. It means to take somebody else's money or property for yourself, especially when they have trusted you to take care of it. Okay, sometimes it might have happened to you that you trusted something with somebody, and they've mistrusted it. Okay, so that is called misappropriate. Okay, coming to the next two words, deprive and divest. So there are two other words, deprive and divest. Okay, deprive is quite a quite a familiar word for most of you. Most of you would have come across it. Okay. Deprive means to prevent somebody from having or doing something, especially something important. Okay, so when you restrict somebody from doing an action, okay, it's called deprive. Okay, I'll give you an example. I was deprived of taking today's online seminar. Just for example, okay, I was deprived of taking today's online seminar. Okay, so that is how the word deprive is used. Okay, when you prevent somebody from doing a particular action. Okay, now divest, it means to take something away from someone or something else. Okay, so he was divested of his title, power, and or dignity. Okay, so say so if you want me to give an example, then I would say I was divested of my post of a GRE expert. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so did you guys notice the subtle difference between deprive and divest? Did you guys notice the subtle difference between deprive and divest, guys? Okay, so what is it? What is the subtle difference between deprive and divest? Okay, Rahul says taking away and preventing. That's correct. That's one way. That's right. Zayed also says the same. Correct. Okay, Alia says divest is a verb and deprive is an adjective. Okay, not quite. Okay, Alia, both of them are verbs. Okay, both of them signify an action. Okay, but you are quite close. I'll tell you what is the exact difference. Okay, I'll tell you guys. Okay, so whenever there is uh, let's take the word deprive. Okay, whenever you are prevented from doing an action, whenever there is a verb involved, okay, action is a verb, right? So whenever there is a restricting an action involved, something like taking an online seminar, it's something like singing, okay, or dancing, or writing, or reading, or walking, or running, or swimming, okay. Whenever somebody is prevented of doing an action, we use the word deprive, okay. So there the there the word that is highlighted is a verb, okay. But in the next one, when we use the word divest, we use it for something that is a noun, okay. So say your whatever your designation, if you're working, okay, whatever your designation is, say if you are a general manager, you are divested of your post of general manager, okay. You're divested of your power, you're divested of your dignity, okay. So that is a noun, okay. So understood the subtle difference? Okay, all right. Okay, so this is to tackle the similarity between two words, identify the subtle difference between two words, two or more words, okay. And your learning should concentrate in and around the word that you have that you are most familiar with, okay. All right. Okay, now having said this, now having said all this, okay, these are these are really useful tips to these are really useful tips to learn those 3,500 words, okay. If you follow these tips, uh, they are going to help you a lot, okay. But apart from that, there are various techniques, okay. There are various techniques that if you that if you incorporate those techniques, okay, that will help you retain your memory much better. Okay, so before moving forward, I seem to have a lot of questions from you guys, okay. So some of you have been complaining that I'm not taking your questions, so you guys can ask your questions. I'll take a few of your questions and then proceed forward. Any questions, guys, till now? Yes, Mansa, go ahead, please. No, Srikar, they are completely different words. Okay, Chitra has a very good question. Chitra says, if if you come across a word that you in an exam and you don't know it, how to tackle it? Okay, Chitra, for one thing, why most people find GRE verbal difficult is that if you don't know a word, you don't know a word. Okay, you can't do anything about it. Okay, but what you can do is you can read the whole statement, how it is used in a sentence, okay, and try to figure out the meaning based on the context of the sentence, okay. So that is called contextual interpretation, okay. So uh, if you don't know the meaning of the word, read the whole sentence or read the whole paragraph, whatever is given, okay, and try to infer the meaning from the context of the passage, okay. Try to connect it with the context of what the writer is saying, okay. Then in 60% of the cases you will be able to deduce the meaning of the word if you haven't come across it before, okay. But there are instances that you might not be able to figure it out, okay. Might be very difficult, might be written in a very difficult language, okay. So that is why it's important to read those 3,500 words and learn those 3,500 words so that you don't encounter this problem. Okay, am I clear? Okay. Okay, I hope I've answered your question, Utkarsh. Okay, Girish, they are completely different words. Okay, Vinita is asking, please tell me books which I should refer. Okay, so guys, if you want me to refer you a book, if you want me to suggest you a book to study these words, I will say go for Barron's. Okay, but again, uh, the word list in Barron's is given in an alphabetical order, which I highly recommend not to not to study any word list in an alphabetical order. That is very tedious and it will take a toll on you. Okay, even the words that you have learned, you'll forget if go through a word list in an alphabetical order. Okay, so you can refer the word list from Barron's, and it also contains a high frequency word list that you can definitely read. Okay, so I recommend you Barron's, but again, reading from books is not what I would suggest, because GRE is an online exam. It's always good to learn, study, and then practice online. Okay, GREH has a word list. Okay, and I'm going to tell you more about it. GREH has a theme-based word list also. Okay, which is which I'll send you the link at this end of the seminar. And GREH also has another word list that I'm going to explain it to you now. Okay, I all right. Okay, so shall we move forward, guys? Shall we move forward? There are some more things to discuss. Okay, so okay, these were the tips, these were the what we've discussed were some of the methods to approach. Okay, now there is one more thing that is very important, is to learn with pictures. Okay, so relate the word with pictures. Now why is it so? Is because visual long-term memory has a massive storage capacity for object details. Now consider this. Let me ask you a question. Okay, if I give you the meaning of a word written in text, and I give you another word with a picture, which one are you more likely to remember? Mansa says picture, Kanika says picture, Vamsi says picture. The one with picture. Correct. Okay, so it's not just yours and my opinion. It's not just your and my opinion. It's proved scientifically. Okay, it's how the human brain works. Okay, human brain has a knack of storing visual data. Okay, visual long-term memory has a massive storage capacity for object details. Okay, so you would have you could see it whenever you go to a place and visit a new place. Okay, the things that you see, you are more likely to remember than a book that you have read. Correct? Am I right? Agree with me? The things that you see, you are more likely to remember than a book you read. Right? Okay, so that is how a visual memory works. Visual, the brain has a massive storage capacity for visual data. Okay, you can remember the words with the help of pictures associated with. Okay, so when you have a word, when you have a picture for each word, okay, it increases your memory. It helps you remember the word for a long time. Okay, it's much easier for the brain to remember that word. Okay, all right. Okay, so how many of you would like to see an actual picture based word list? Shall we take some examples and see how do we learn from an actual picture based word list? Yes. Okay, very quickly. Okay, I'll show you the meaning. I'll show you the meaning first. Okay, the word and its meaning. Then I'll show you a picture. Okay, then again we'll go back to the method that we discussed earlier in the seminar. Okay, so the first word is desultory. Okay, desultory. Okay, the meaning: going from one thing to another without a definite plan or purpose. Okay, going from one thing to another without a definite plan or purpose. Okay, so that is the meaning of the word desultory. Okay, so let's see the picture. So guys, can you see the picture on the screen? Dreams are always desultory. There is a baby sleeping. Okay, agree with that picture? Dreams are always desultory. Yes. Okay, dreams are always hazy, right? Moving from one dream to another. Okay, so parts of speech, next is a parts of speech. Parts of speech is an adjective. Can anyone tell me why is it an adjective? Right, Srikar? They keep on varying. Yes, Mansa, GRE has a word list with pictures. Okay, I'm going to explain it once we've finished. Okay, so parts of speech is an adjective because, okay, it's an adjective because it is telling the quality of a noun. It is describing the quality of a noun. Okay, so that is why it's an adjective. Okay, how is it used in a statement? Okay, many young people are so desultory that they are unable to fix their thought on a single plan or career. Okay, so guys, can you form your own statement, own sentence using the word desultory? Can you form your own statement very quickly, guys? 10 seconds. Path to success is always desultory. Okay, Tushar, I'm not sure of the literal meaning, but the sentence formation is correct. Conversation between politicians are desultory. Okay. I'm very desultory for when to give GRE. Alright. Teenagers are so desultory in love. Okay, that's good, Pari. My GRE preparation is desultory at the moment. Jiken, the idea behind your sentence was correct, but there are a few grammatical mistakes. You can say my GRE preparation is desultory at the moment. Okay. I am very much desultory while planning. All right. Some people are so desultory that they cannot make decisions quickly. Okay, correct, Shikha? Okay, I'll correct your statement. Okay, the mistake that you've done here is that we use the word desultory when not for a person but for other things. Okay, so uh, dreams can be desultory. Okay, dreams can be desultory, or thoughts can be desultory. Okay, or maybe you can say the weather is desultory, or maybe you can say you can you can take these non-person things as and use it with the word desultory. Okay, but a person cannot be desultory. Okay, you or me cannot be desultory. Okay, you can't say Mani Kumar is desultory, or you can't say I am desultory. Okay, your thoughts can be desultory. Okay, do you get the meaning now? Yes. Okay. Okay, so the next word, very quickly moving on to the next word, guys. The next word is crestfallen, meaning sad and disappointed because you have failed and you did not expect to. Okay, sad and disappointed because you have failed and did not expect to. Okay. Yes, Tafi, that's correct. Okay, so let's see the picture. Let's see the image associated with it. Okay, so you can see you can see two cricketers. Okay, they're crestfallen, very sad and disappointed. They've tried very hard, and yet they did not achieve the result that they were aiming for. Okay, so they were crestfallen. Okay, so the next thing is parts of speech. Again, it's an adjective here since it's telling the quality of a noun. Okay, Usage is after losing its last game, the team was crestfallen. Okay, I was crestfallen knowing my results, says Vinita. Correct? Okay, I do not even have to tell you to form a sentence. You guys are already started. Alright, that's great. Okay. Okay. I'm crestfallen on seeing my GRE score. So guys, go ahead and form a sentence. Shahid Afridi made Indian team crestfallen. Correct, Aditya? Now, Mansa, I hope you won't be crestfallen after seeing your GRE Verbal score. Steffi says I was crestfallen after getting my grades. Okay. Safia says I was crestfallen when my favorite actor did not get an award. Safia is referring to Leonardo DiCaprio. All right. Okay. I was crestfallen when my DiCaprio was crestfallen to have not got the Oscar this time as well. Tushar, correct? Right, Tushar, you're right. Indians were crestfallen after the terrorist attacks. Rutuja, your statement is correct. Your sentence is correct, but I'm not sure about the literal meaning. After a terror attack, okay, people will be terrorized. They won't be disappointed. Okay, so okay, I hope you understand. Okay, but the statement you have made is right. Okay, only the literal meaning I was pointing out. Okay, so shall we move on to the next word? Okay. Okay, so the next word is exacerbate, meaning make an adverse or painful situation more so. Okay, make an adverse or painful situation more so. Okay, so that is the meaning of the word exacerbate. Okay, shall we look at the pic? Shall we look at the picture? So guys, can you see the picture on the screen? Can you see the picture on the screen? Right. Okay, so you can see there are two people. They bumped into a tree. They bumped their car into a tree. Okay, then one person is very aghast and very frustrated, and the other guy says, "Don't worry, it's just an old car." Okay, so the lady behind, she says, "Don't exacerbate the situation," for him with comments like that. Okay, so do you guys get the meaning now? Right? Okay, so in Hindi there is an equivalent phrase called jale par namak chidakna. Okay, in English we call it sprinkling salt on the wounds. Okay, so that is similar to the word exacerbate. Okay, so the parts of speech, again here it's an adjective. Okay, and the usage, it is important that a drug does not exacerbate an ailment even if it does not cure the patient. Okay, Vamsi, I'm sorry, I'm still learning Tamil. Once I learn Tamil, I'll tell you what is it called in Tamil. If you know it, you can tell me what it is. Okay, Parag says relatives exacerbate me when I scored less marks. Okay. Okay, Dheeraj, I know Telugu, but I don't know what is the exact phrase for it. Okay, you can help me with that. Okay. Anyway, guys, so Parag says relatives exacerbate me when I score less marks. Okay, Parag, the mistake here is that uh, you know here again people are not exacerbated, situations are exacerbated. Okay, I hope you got it. Right, Aditya, yeah, I read your message. I got it. Thank you. Right, that's the same thing, Aditya. All right. My teacher exacerbated the situation by passing rude comments, says Nilakshi, correct? Al- Already low score and Dinesh Karthik exacerbated the situation, exacerbated it when he missed a simple stumping, okay? All right. So guys, you understand now how to approach a word that you have never come across, how to approach a new word. Yes, all clear? Okay, so now someone was asking me, okay, this seems like a this seems like a huge process for each word. Okay, how am I going to do it for 3,500 words? Okay, yes, that's an apt question. Okay, that's a right question, but I'll tell you. Okay, initially it will be tough, it will be time taking, it will be time consuming. Okay, it's just like when you first start learning a bicycle. Okay, you need someone to hold you from behind, or you need support wheels for your bicycle. Okay, and then you slowly start riding, and then you remove off the support wheels, but still someone keeps holding you. Okay, then suddenly one day the person who is holding your bicycle, he leaves it. Okay, and then you don't realize that you are riding on your own, and then you learn your bicycle. Okay, so initially it is quite tough. Okay, you need a lot of support. Okay, but as you move on, you'll be very familiar with it. Okay, and the time taken for you to learn each word will be much lesser. Okay, you don't have to particularly go through all go through each step consciously saying, okay, I need to learn the meaning, then parts of speech, then usage. Okay, once you do it for 20 or 30 words, okay, you'll subconsciously go through all these stages, okay, without even knowing. Okay, it will be much easier, much smoother process for you. Okay, initially it will be tough, but as you keep going, it will be much smoother, it will be a much smoother journey, and it will be, you'll start enjoying the process of learning. Yeah, especially with a picture based word list, each word will be very refreshing, very new. Okay, and I'm sure you'll start liking GRE Verbal. Okay, many of the students at GREH have turned out like that. Earlier they used to hate verbal, and then once they're done with their GRE preparation at GREH, they start liking it. They want to learn even more. Okay, so that is what this this uh, these simple steps will do. Okay, these since GREH has more than 16,000 students, we've tested this method with all of them, and they found it really helpful, and that is why we are discussing, sharing this method with you guys as well. Okay. Okay. All right, so these are the tips and techniques that you need to keep in mind. Okay, and okay, but what I've told you today, okay, if you apply all these techniques in your daily preparation, I'm sure your GRE score will you will shoot up like anything. Okay, I'm sure that you'll boost your GRE score, uh, GRE score in a you know in an expected manner. Okay, so but all this what I told you till now is it's all theory. Okay, it's all theory. There's much more to it. You need to put this in application. No, you need to put these things in application. Okay, so to tell you to explain what how to apply these words in your daily usage, I am going to hand over the mic again to my colleague Mr. Samat.
Thank you, Mani. So how is it going, guys? How has the learning been till now? Hello? Hello everyone. Am I audible now? Yes. All right. Thank you. Sorry for the inconvenience. Okay. So we'll resume with where Mani stopped. Okay. And how to actually practice this and how to get a high score in your GRE Verbal. Okay. So has anybody got any clue of how you can do that? Okay. Anybody wants to guess? Daily practice says Dhimant, okay. Master of vocabulary says Santosh. More reading says Tushar. Forming the groups of words says Parag. Practice says Kanika. Repeated questions says Alia. Memorizing lots of words says Mansa, okay. Practicing, okay. Anyways, I'll tell you how is that at GREH. We teach students, or students learn words and master their vocabulary. How many of you would be interested in knowing that? Okay, Manasa, Dinesh. All right. Okay, before before I go on to tell that, I would like to know how many of you have heard about GREH earlier. Okay, Mansa has. Okay, Aishwarya. How many of you have learned about GREH earlier? That how is that GREH helps students score higher in their GRE? Okay, so what have you heard? All right, through personal trainers. Okay, don't know so much. Okay, fine. So I'll share the GREH training process. Okay, how is that students learn at GREH? Okay, now I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and I want all of you to interact and participate. Very simple questions. All right. So everybody will help me out. All right. Thank you. Okay. Now, when you're not well, okay, when you're not feeling good, when you're sick, okay, when you're ill, whom do you approach? All right, you approach a doctor. Okay, so when you approach a doctor, when you meet a doctor, how does he help you out? What are the various steps? Okay, medicine. Okay, so before medicine, what comes? Treatment. Okay, what comes before treatment? Okay, test, looks at the symptoms, inquires about the problem, diagnosis, identify symptoms, right? Okay, so the doctor goes through does a diagnostic test, asks you to go through a diagnostic test. He asks a lot of questions. Okay, he tries to understand what could be the cause of the problem, right? And through the diagnostic test he is able to find out the scientific reason for that. Okay, now after he has taken the diagnostic test, what does he what does he proceed to do with you? Treatment, remedy, right, medication or treatment. Okay, now after he has prescribed a medication or treatment, how does it what happens after that? Regular checkup, right? Okay, now recovery, correct. Okay, so you go through a test, you get some prescription, then you get treatment, and then there's a follow up on whether it's going right or wrong. Okay, so there's a similar approach at GREedge also. Okay, now how is that it is similar. Okay, when you join GREedge, you get 2 personal trainers. Okay, so they are like your GRE doctors. Okay, so one personal trainer for verbal and another personal trainer for cont. Okay, now they'll ask a lot of questions to you. They'll understand what is your target score. Okay, how much time you can prepare, things like that. Okay, and they'll also ask you to go through a diagnostic test. Okay, so in case of GRE, how does a diagnostic test help? Find out the weak areas, okay, and find out the areas that you're strong in. Okay, now if you know what are the various areas you're weak in, okay, what will you do about them? We'll work on them. More practice. Try to rectify them, try to improve them, strengthen them. Right. Okay. So what you also get is a personalized study plan. Okay, that focuses on your weak areas. Okay. Now what is a study plan made up of? Any idea? Lessons, okay. Timetable, systematic sequence of study, practice sheets and lessons, initial start. Okay, so it is systematically ordered, okay, sessions that you should take. Okay, now you will start with learning concepts. Okay, practice simple questions on them so that you understand or you're confident with the concepts. Okay, after you're done that, you will go on to practice a lot of GRE style questions. Okay, I'll tell you what GRE style questions are. Okay, and while you're practicing them, okay, you will be gaining feedback from your personal trainer. Okay, now GRE, now how many of you drive a car, or how many of you have learned how to drive a car? Okay, so a lot of you have learned how to drive a car. Okay, now when you're driving a car or when you're learning how to drive a car, okay, why is it important to have somebody next to you? To train, to guide. Okay, now when you're learning how to drive a car and if you don't have somebody next to you, what can happen? You might go in the wrong direction. There might be accidents. You might be clueless of how to drive. You might lose motivation. Right? Okay, so in order to avoid all this, okay, you have a personal trainer who keeps a very close eye on how you're progressing. Okay, how are you using the study plan properly? Are you taking the sessions properly? Okay, in each session, how much time are you spending? Okay, in every question, why are you going wrong? Okay, how can you improve? Where are your concepts weak? Okay, things like that. You will keep on getting personalized feedback. Okay, and whenever you have a doubt, okay, you have the option of asking a doubt. Okay, and no matter how many doubts you have, it could be even 1,000. Okay, all of them will get cleared within one working day. Okay, what you can also do is you can access all the doubts that have been raised by students who have earlier prepared with us. Okay, and you can, you have access to them all the time. Alright, okay. Now when you're preparing for your GRE, what type of questions would you like to practice? Questions that most likely appear to, most likely to appear in your GRE, or those which are not so important? Right, the ones that are more important and the ones that are more likely to appear in the GRE. Right, so they are called the GRE style test. Okay, now these tests are of the same level as your actual GRE exam. Okay, now GRE is adaptive, and GRE is very different from all the other exams. Okay, so the more you practice all these type of tests online, you will gain more confidence. Okay, and the actual exam of GRE will feel like another session at GREedge. Okay, now how many of you this is what is the the training process at GREedge like. Okay, now how many of you would like to have a full demo of this with a GRE expert? Alright, so what you can do is you can, if you have any more questions, any other doubts, okay, you can reach us on this number 98844532276, or you can also email us at info@greedge.com. Okay, and while you're having a demo session, okay, you can also get all your questions regarding GRE clarified, and also take the help of the student counselors to plan your GRE. Alright. Okay then, thank you guys. We close the online seminar for today. Thank you for attending today's online seminar. Okay, superb energy shown by all of you. Okay, the number of questions that all of you asked is was overwhelming. Okay, sorry if any of your questions was left unanswered. Okay, but we will definitely answer all your questions from our student counselors. Alright, and as promised, I will also send you the link. Please hold on for 1 second. Yes, so Mani sir had told you that he'll be sending you a link. Just give me 1 second, and I will reply. I'll send you the link right now. Alright, guys. So have you received the link? www.greedge.com/GRE Okay, so along with this, I'll also send you one more link. Okay, www.greedge.com/wordbot. Okay, so have you received both the lists? Okay, so the first one is the theme-based word list. Okay, and second one is word list where you can learn using pictures. Okay, so in the second word list you have access to about 200 words. Okay, in case you want to gain access to more words, you will have to join GREedge. Okay. Okay, so have all of you received both the links? All right. Thank you. Then we'll close for today. And if you have any questions, you can get back to us. Thank you. Have a good night.